manipulation, a form of shape-shifting, flight, and if they say bless, I don't know how that is, but yeah, Deku, he got all that. And let me describe Deku, what he'll look like. Alright, so Deku, he has like a transforming quirk, I'ma say. He can become like Baal. He can either go full Baal or he can go half. He'll mostly go half. Full is like just too much. And yeah, when he go half, he'll have wings coming out his back, a tail. He will also have scales on his legs, arms, necklace, third eye, fire flames coming out the sides, and yeah, chest out. That he don't really need a hero costume because his transformation, it will be his hero costume. But yeah, he will also not have green hair. He will have black and blue hair. And Deku will always have this mark on his hand. And that's the source. Alright, so let us start off. We start back in the Kingdom of Solomon. They are parading for their king and having a good time, when all of a sudden they are attacked by a black mass of black roof. Now, everything happens, and then next thing Baal knows, the roof from his body, he is conscious, but he is only roof. It is flying to a boy in a different world, and it goes into his body as Baal opens his eyes. Now, this boy was Izuku Midoriya. Now, Izuku, when he was a baby, he didn't cry much. He was a weird baby. He was quite, how do I say it? He was quite chill, let me just say. He didn't do much except sleep, eat, and try to learn, let me say. But Deku, when he hit the age of 4, Bakugo had his quirk and was showing off. And Deku was like, "Wow, Kachan, you have a great quirk, but my quirk's gonna be cooler." He says it in a casual way. Bakugo then says, "In your dreams," as they are still friends at the moment. Now, few days pass, and Deku wakes up, and he feels an ache on his hand. Now, he looks at it, and it's a mark. He runs to his mother and says, Mom, I think my quirk just came in." Right? She is shocked and immediately gets ready to take him to the quirk doctor. Now, when he is there, the doctor looks at Deku and asks him, do he feel like he can do anything different? Now, Deku would think, and then his body pulsated. Now, his clothes started to rip off due to getting ripped by spiky scales. And his arms and hands started to turn into claws, but like armored claws. Now, wings started to sprout from his back, and the tail started to sprout out of his rear. Now, Deku will look around at himself covered in blue. His hair color has changed at this moment, as it was green, but now it's blue. Now, I know I said his hair will be blue, but after this it will stay blue. No. Now, Deku also sees a sword on his side. He also feels heat coming from his head as there is fire. And he can see from another angle as he has another eye. Now, the doctor is amazed and asks Deku, is there anything else he can do? As Deku realizes, he tells the doctor, come outside. They all go outside and gather around, and Deku says that he will demonstrate his power as Baal is taking over. Now, he puts his one hand into the sky and says, Balala, as this cloud starts coming around, and lightning strikes down and directly into Deku's hand as he stores it inside, and then he throws out a orb of electricity. They are amazed and say he has a transformation quirk and an enhancement quirk. And isn't it the transmitter quirk or something? I think so. So he basically has 3 quirk types, as they think. I think that's how it is. But anyway, Deku would be so happy, and his mother would be proud. Now, Deku would go back to school and tell them that he went to the quirk doctor. And then they will ask, what's his quirk? What's his quirk? As he says, I can show you. So, in class, he puts his hands together and then brings them out as lightning is storming on his hands. Everyone is amazed, even Bakugo, because he is happy, but he still thinks his quirk is better. Now, Deku and Bakugo will become close friends over, not an underling to an over, but friends. Now, time skip to when Deku is going to UA. The teacher throws up the paper and everything. Now, Deku, he would apply for UA still, as people know his work is very strong, along with Bakugo. And they will both get praised, and everyone's like, we know you're both going to get accepted, you have very strong quirks. As they are taking the praise, Bakugo's taking it in a different way from Deku. Deku is just, thank you. As Bakugo's like, I know. Deku's more humble than Bakugo. Now, Deku and Bakugo, they're walking from school as Sludge Villain comes out and attacks Deku. Now, he latches on to Deku, and Bakugo would try to save him as he would start grabbing him and exploding. Now, it wouldn't work, but Deku had an idea. As he was inside, he transformed, and the Sludge Villain was like, your quirk can do nothing to me. As all you hear Deku say is Barala. And then next thing that happens was that lightning struck through the little thing they were in, the tunnel, and hit directly on where Deku was. And it, I'ma say the electricity. No, I'm gonna use one more of his abilities that I didn't state. Now, it went through and it touched him, but it didn't affect him. And he said, is that all? As then he then suddenly lets go of Deku. And he's not in control of his body. As he then cannot move, he's frozen. And the ability is called Electricity Slave. If electricity is from Baal is in one's body, he can control them as long as it's there, using their nerves. Now you could say that the Sludge Villain doesn't have nerves, but I think he does. No. All Might slides around the corner, and he's confused as to why the Sludge Villain is not moving. As he asks them how they use their quirks, them looking up and seeing that there's a hole through the tunnel, as they must have strong quirks, or one of them might. As he looks and considers them as candidates for One for All. Now, Deku and Bakugo will walk off as they will go their separate ways and go home. Now, Deku and Bakugo, they had to train. So, him and Bakugo looked up places good to train, as they will need more than just the gym. Now, Deku and Bakugo, they found a beach that has not been cleared. And they say that the beach used to be beautiful, but now it is ugly because all the trash and litter that is everywhere. And they decide that they will train there and clean off the beach. Now, the morning that they go, they walk up and find All Might with a boy that looks similar to him. Same hair color, same build, and they wonder if it's his son. Now, they duck behind something to hide, but they're still looking. And they see that All Might transforms into Small Might, thinking no one's around. And they're shocked as they come out and say, All Might, is that you? As All Might is spooked, right? All Might would already know that they have seen him. So there was no point of lying. So now Deku and Bakugo know the secret. But since they're there, they can help spar. Now, 10 months pass, and I'm gonna say that Deku has his extreme magic now, but he cannot transform straight into Baal yet. Now, Deku doesn't like to use it, but just so y'all know what it is, I'll demonstrate it in the upcoming, just to show how strong he is. Now, Deku would be, him and Bakugo would be going to the training exam. And they will find out that they had different rooms, different cities, the blocks or whatever. So they would go to their city block. And I'm going to say on the theory exam, Deku came in the top 20. And Bakugo came in the top 30. Now, Deku, he walks to the beginning place, right? And when President Might starts counting down, now he has not met Uraraka or Ida or anyone. When the clock counts down, Deku, he just starts to transform as his clothes start to rip and he's in a whole different form. Now, the gates open and Deku stays there as he's waiting. Now, they let the 0 pointer out and Deku says, I guess now is a good time to use it. And then he hears screaming. Now, everyone is evacuating. But he sees a girl trapped on the rubble. Now, he dashes over there and helps her. As he flies away, the pal gets stumped on by the robot. Now, Deku, he doesn't have any points, but he still wants to get in. So, in the last seconds, he decides to destroy the whole city. And then, next thing he says is Balala Saika, as lightning shoots down to him as normal. But then, it's going around him. And he grabs the sword and aims it. And then a beam shoots out. It shoots for a while. Then around it just becomes a huge circle that destroyed 2 blocks. It actually went all the way through to an empty block that was already tested. And destroyed it, killing all the robots, disintegrating them. Everyone is shocked. at how powerful he is. And Deku then goes, he sets the girl down, and then he checks if she's okay, as he would look at her and she would look back, seeing that this man of a boy saved her. Now, she will start to catch feelings, as it is Uraraka. And she would thank him very much. I'm gonna just say. She would then leave, as she is shy, for he is so big and strong. Now, Deku would pay it no mind, but he would go home. And he has to stay in his form because he has no clothes, no spare. Now, Deku would make it home, and his mother would ask how it went. Deku saying that it went pretty good. The letter comes in, and Deku, he passed with flying colors, as he is number 1 in the whole exam. His display of power shocked everyone, and he might even be stronger than All Might, they say, which he is, but he's really suppressed. I ain't even gonna hold you. 2 blocks, man, Sinbad would have destroyed the whole place. They would have had to rebuild it from the ground up. But yeah, he is very strong though. Stronger than All Might. Maybe if he goes full out, which he doesn't most of the time. Now, anyway, first day of UA, he comes into class. He noticed that the door is huge. He opens it, and everyone was talking and everything. But as soon as he comes in, silence. Baku goes there, and he says, hello, my friend. That sounded weird, but I was trying to say it a different way. He says, yo, as Deku says, hello. Why is everyone so quiet? As they say, you don't know? You destroyed 2 blocks. And Deku says, oh, well, I needed points. Now, everyone's flabbergasted for a good bit until Aizawa comes from out of the hallway. Now, they are all surprised, and they want to know who this bum sleeping in the sleeping bag is. As he says, I'm your homeroom teacher. Then tells them go put on their sports uniforms. Now, they get outside, and Aizawa gives Deku a ball and asks him how far was his throw without his quirk in school. He says that it was 700 meters. Aizawa is shocked by this, and he says, I said without quirk. And Deku says, I know. And Aizawa is thinking to himself, how far can this kid throw a ball with his quirk? As he then tells Deku to throw the ball with his quirk. Now, Deku would grab the ball and would transform into his state. But he will only, he would transform. Now, he would reel his arm back and he would throw it. And the ball, you know how Team Rocket, when they blast off, they got that little star? It goes into the sky and it's like ting. Now, Deku walks from the circle, as Aizawa is at a loss for words. Now, he puts them through all the other tests. When he put them through the grip strength, Deku's fingers, he crushed the thing, breaking it completely. It couldn't even register at all. For the side jumps, Deku, he was too fast, as it looked like he stood in one place. But he did about at least 100,000. For the run, Deku ran, and he was there as soon as they said go. No delay. They did the long jump, and Deku can fly, so got infinity basically. So Deku crushed the fitness exam, and he got first in almost everything except the throw, because they ended up finding the throw, even though they had to find it in America. They ended up finding it, so he was able to measure. But they weren't able to find his ball. They wasn't able to get Uraraka, so she still got infinity. Now, Bakugo, no, All Might would come through, right? And he would ask if they were ready for heroes versus villains. Now, Deku was ready. Bakugo was definitely ready. Everyone else was ready. They felt like they were ready. Now, they go, and the teams are, I'm going to say, Bakugo and Todoroki versus Deku and Tokoyami. Now, Deku says let him handle Bakugo, as he transforms, but he only transforms his arms. Now, he walks in the building, and I didn't describe his hero costume. He doesn't have one. He has Sinbad's Jenny Quip as his stuff. Now, anyway, he walks into the building and walks up the stairs as Bakugo's coming out. Now, Deku would Bakugo would swing at Deku with an explosion, as Deku would grab his arm and sling him into a wall. Now, Bakugo would jump off the wall and try to palm Deku with it, as Deku, he knows a little bit of boxing, as he will weave, slightly missing, and uppercut Bakugo as he's wide open. He would tell Bakugo about his stance, telling him that he's wide open. But Bakugo, since he has been practicing with Deku, he would know a little bit of martial arts. He would probably know a little bit of kickboxing or boxing, as he would then close his fists instead of having them open, and then grab at Deku's arm, as Deku would punch at Deku, as Deku would try to block it with his arm. Bakugo opens his hand quickly and grabs it and explodes it. Now, Deku wouldn't feel it, as the scales protected him. The next thing he knows, he's hitting the gut with an explosion, as Bakugo was attracting his attention to the arm. He flies back, but he stops himself as he has to fully transform. Now, he has used no magic on Bakugo, but now he's going to have to get serious, as Bakugo's coming with that heat. So, Deku runs at Bakugo, and Bakugo's running at him. And Deku uses electricity coming off his hand, and Bakugo uses an explosion. They clash, and it's like Fire God Raiden's fire. Fire God Liu Kang's fire. It's like electricity in it, like a little explosion. But then they start boxing with hands, as Bakugo would throw a punch, Deku would block it or weave it and crunch his stuff, right? Then Bakugo will come with a counter. Then Deku says, "Let me end this," as he starts using his feet. He kicks Bakugo's knee as he drops down to it. And then he kicks him in his gut, takes his arm, and then slams down his foot on his back, as Bakugo is knocked prone. Now, Deku would then put his hand on Bakugo's back and put energy into him, as he then used him as an electric slave. Now, Bakugo couldn't get up, so Deku ties him up with capture tape. Now, Bakugo is still the Mad Pomeranian. Not gonna get that wrong, but he's yelling and everything as he's captured, and Tokuyami has already Black Shadow touched the bomb, as I'm gonna say Todoroki couldn't do nothing about it. Now, few days pass, they're chilling, and they find out that they're going to the USJ. Now, in the USJ, they are learning how to become rescue heroes. Now, when they going, and they make it, and the same thing happens in canon. They get through everywhere in the water and stuff. Now, Tsuyu grabs Deku as there are villains in the water, and she's helping him. And they knock the boat up. And Deku has a genius idea to fry them. No. Deku, he says balala as lightning shoots down into the water, electrocuting everyone. Not killing, but just electrocuted. And now they're looking for other people as they see Aizawa fighting the Nomu. Now, Deku would come down to help as he would start fighting the Nomu and let Aizawa focus on Shigaraki. Now, Deku would punch the Nomu as the Nomu wouldn't flinch. But it did hurt. And the Nomu doesn't know why. But he's holding it. Bless you. Anyway, so when Deku punches the Nomu, his shock absorption works, but he still feels the pain. Now, Deku is not breaking anything, but he's still hurting the Nomu. Now, how he is doing this is when Deku punches, he uses electricity on his hand, and when he hits, his Nomu's body absorbs the contact, but Deku, at the same time, Deku activates nerves in his bodies that sense pain, so he's still getting the pain sent to him. Nomu don't like it, so he then tries to slam both hands down on Deku. But as he does this, both his hands are gone, as Deku has used his sword to cut him. And then he says lightning ball as he throws out a ball of lightning. It gets close to the Nomu. Then it just goes up. The Nomu doesn't know what's going on, but it gets to his brain and fries it. Like, I'm talking about, that bit is untouchable. You touch that bit, it'll go to ash. That bit is fried. Now, All Might gets there a little bit too late, for everything is done. Now, I'm gonna be ending the video off right here. Next episode of this will be like a more chill version, as we are getting into when they started getting along and stuff. Now it'll be more chill, but nonetheless, hope y'all have a good day. And if I sound a little bit weird, it's because I'm laying down, and I usually do this at night, but I'm doing it in the daytime. So there's different energy levels. But yeah, have a great day, and if you don't mind, hit that sub button.